How should you calculate the liquidated or delayed damages on a project? Well, you could do what one of my clients did. They were investing in a new CHP plant, and the contractor who provided the contract had put in a very small percentage of the contract price, which finished after 3 weeks, cap on 3 weeks, which on a 30-week project was a little on the low side. The client decided that in order to get this sum agreed, what they would do was calculate the additional costs they have currently in buying fuel and the cost that they'll have once this CHP plant is finished. And they provided 2 different incentives. They said, if you finish early, then we'll pay you this, our savings to you. But if you finish late, you'll pay us the extra cost that it's going to cover. And we're going to extend the period just a little bit to give you a bit more of incentive. But the thing is, the client didn't have to do that. There was no requirement for you to have a spreadsheet that explains how you've built up your liquidated or delayed damages. They only have to be not extravagant and unconscionable. See, since 1915, there was a case that talked about a genuine pre-estimate. And that's when people started getting the spreadsheets out, working out what their costs were. But the reality is, if the contractor will agree, it doesn't matter how you've come to that figure. You see, they're used as an incentive. They're used to help the contractor think, is it better to pay the liquidated damages or put extra resources in and finish on time? They're used as a sort of negotiation tool during the course of wrapping up all the issues that have happened on the project. They're used to encourage the contractor to complete or discourage it from being late. They can be used for all sorts of different things. And actually, it's the purpose that you're going to put them to that's more important than the figure. Because if, for example, you're running a nuclear power station, you're building a new one, your losses may be £1 million per day in lost revenues from not having that power available. But how many contractors can afford to pay you £1 million per day for any period of time without becoming insolvent? If you put that sort of level in, it might not be extravagant and unconscionable, but it might not be commercially acceptable. And it might just become, well, effectively a red herring. You don't want a red herring in your contract. You want something that is quick and easy, and you can deduct it without putting the contractor into a spiral that leads to insolvency. That's not going to suit either of you. So when it comes to calculating or deciding the level of liquidated damages, you could have a percentage of the contract price. You could put a figure in. You could put your finger in there and just guess. Or you could sit down with the contractor and try and come to an agreement. Because fundamentally, if the contractor doesn't like it, they might try and wriggle out of it through all sorts of different mechanisms. Now, contractors haven't been very successful in the construction sphere in wriggling out of liquidated damages. In the last 100 years, they've only managed it on 4 separate occasions. But there may be other arguments that they're entitled to more time that they use in order to wriggle out of what they think of unreasonable liquidated damages. So like everything in a contract, the most important thing is to think about it properly, agree it with the contractor, and then get it signed. See, using delay damages properly can safeguard your business without annoying your clients. If you make them too high, you're going to annoy the provider. If you make them too low, you're not going to safeguard your business. There's no perfect level, though. There's no silver bullet. There's no magic wand that I can provide you that explains what level you should have. But if they're too low, they do not act as an incentive to encourage the contractor to finish or to apply for extensions of time. So make sure that they have a bit of teeth, just a little bit of teeth to nibble away at them, to encourage them to complete or to do whatever you've asked them to do. Help them to focus their minds on this, the deliverable, the objective for your project. Don't leave it to chance. Don't chuck in £1 per week. That'll be fine because I can't think what it might be. If it's £1 per week, they're not going to bother. They don't care. They won't put an application for an extension of time in, all that kind of stuff. Why bother? They might as well just give you £365 at the start of the project and accept that they're going to be a year late or up to a year late. So think carefully, what's the purpose of these damages? What's it meant to encourage them to do or discourage them from doing? And as long as it's not extravagant and unconscionable compared to the greatest loss you could suffer, then you can recover them. So use these damages to safeguard your business without annoying your clients and your contractors.